Hello students, we will continue with the suppositories for the next video. In this video, we will discuss about what are the various bases used in suppositories. Now these are the contents. Now suppository bases. As I said, a suppository base is a must for placing the medicament. Without suppository base, we cannot prepare a suppository. Okay. Now there are three types of suppository bases. How many types are there? Three types. These includes number 1, fatty bases. Number 2, water soluble and water miscible bases. Number 3, emulsifying bases. So first you need to remember suppository bases are of three types. Number 1, fatty bases, water soluble and water miscible bases, and emulsifying bases. Now let us discuss examples, 3 examples or 4 examples of fatty bases, 3 examples of water soluble bases, and 3 examples of emulsifying bases along with some advantages and disadvantages. Now fatty bases. What are the examples of fatty bases? The bases which includes the fatty bases are number 1, theobromma oil, emulsified theobromma oil, and hydrogenated oils. Now theobromma oil. Theobromma oil is also called as cocoa butter. Theobromma oil is nothing but these are glyceryl esters of palmitic, stearic, oleic and other fatty acids. What are theobromma oils or cocoa butter? These are glyceryl esters of palmitic, stearic, oleic and other fatty acids whose melting point is 30 to 35 degrees. All suppositories mainly contain the theobromma oil, but there are some problems. What are the problems? They undergo polymorphism. They exist in more than one form, one crystalline form. They become rancid and melts in warm weather. Leakage may occur and may stick to the package. Liquefaction takes place with chloral hydrate and lactic acid. That means when the theobromma is mixed with chloral hydrate and lactic acid, their melting point, the combined melting point of the chloral with theobromma oil or lactic acid with theobromma oil reduces. Thereby it leads to a smooth mass. So we have discussed the same thing in incompatibilities. Now second one, emulsified theobromma oils. Emulsified. So that means these are used with large quantities of aqueous solutions. And what do these type of emulsified bases contain? Emulsified as the name in the sense we are going to subject to emulsification of the theobromma oil. It contains 5% of glyceryl monostearate, 10% of linity wax, 2 to 3% of cetyl alcohol, 4% of beeswax and 12% of spermaceti. These are emulsified theobromma oils. Theobromma oil only which is emulsified with large quantities of water which contains all these ingredients. Now the third, hydrogenated oils. Hydration of vegetable oils leads to hydrogenated oils. Advantages are they are resistant to oxidation reaction. Now when we use hydrogenated oils, no need for any lubrication. Overheating of oils does not affect the solidifying point. That means your suppository will solidify when placed at refrigerated conditions and there will be no leakage also, and they have very good absorption capacity. Okay, advantages. But the disadvantages, they become very brittle and rapid cooling. That means when you are going to solidify your base very fast under high cold conditions, refrigerated conditions, -degrees, they become brittle. So how to address this? Add some thickening agents. Now the second example, water soluble and water miscible bases. This is the second type of suppository bases. Examples includes glycerogelatin bases, soap glycerin bases, and the third one, polyethylene glycols, which are called as carbowaxes, polyglycols and macrogols. These are the 3 examples of water soluble and water miscible bases. Now what are glycerogelatin bases? As the name indicates, they contain glycerin, water and gelatin. They are always transparent and preferred over fatty bases, and it is suitable for drugs which like boric acid, chloral hydrate, bromides, iodides, iodoforms and opium. But what are the disadvantages? Since they have large amount of water, They are more prone for bacterial and fungal growth. Hygroscopic, they absorb more amount of water. Hence, it is difficult to prepare and handle. At the same time, they may have some physiological action. That is, they may exert laxative effect and causes your what is called relieves the condition of constipation, but which is sometimes not desirable. And they are incompatible ferric chloride and tannic or gallic acid. Now, since they are incompatible with ferric chloride, tannic and gallic acid, we will use two types of gelatins to avoid the incompatibility. These things are incompatible with ferric, tannic acids. Therefore, we use two types of gelatin. This is called as Pharmagel A, Pharmagel B. Pharmagel A, it is prepared, a type of gelatin prepared by acid hydrolysis. Acidic in nature and its isoelectric point is 7 to 9. Pharmagel B is a gelatin which is prepared by alkalinity. So this therefore treatment with alkaline substances, therefore it is alkaline in nature and it has an isoelectric point of 4.7 to 5. And what is isoelectric point? It is the pH at which the particular molecule carries no net electric charge. Now, the second type is soap glycerin bases. First one is glycerin. Okay, now here you see we are going to gelatoglycerin. Here we are going to replace the gelatin with soap. So therefore these are called as soap glycerin bases. So what does the glycerin is replaced with? Curd soap or sodium stearate. They also have very good solidifying property and they are also suitable. Helps in evacuation of bowels. But the disadvantage is hygroscopic and they need to be wrapped, covered by a wax paper or a tin foil. The third one. These are called as polyethylene glycols, which are called as carbovaxes. All these are polyethylene glycol based bases. Highly stable, non-irritant, and even they do not allow any bacterial growth as it was in the previous cases. And sometimes we can combine, we can have polymers of high and low melting point. We can have a combination of these things. Therefore, we can have very good physicochemical properties. We can modify the properties also. They also provide prolonged actions, even they do not stick to the sides of the mold. But the disadvantage is they are hygroscopic, incompatible with tannins and phenols. And sometimes high solubility of these macrogols leads to supersaturation also, formation of crystals, and it may produce product may fracture. Now, the third type of bases, these are called as emulsifying bases, which are synthetic bases. What are the examples of these things? We have three things: Vitopsol, Massa aestarinium, Masopol. Vitopsol. Vitopsol is nothing but it consisting of triglycerides of saturated vegetable fatty acids along with small quantities of beeswax in Vitopsol. What is Vitopsol? It consisting of triglycerides of saturated vegetable fatty acids with small quantities of beeswax. They should not be cooled rapidly. So therefore, and mouth lubrication is a must. The second time, it is called as Massa aestarinium, which is called as Adept solidus. This is nothing but it is a mono-triglycerides of saturated fatty acids. These are white, odorless, tasteless, and melting point is 33.5 to 35.5. These are Massa aestarinium, which are mono, di, and triglycerides of saturated fatty acids. Commonly grade B is used for dispensing of your suppositories. The third example of the emulsifying basis is Masopsol. Masopol is nothing but glyceride esters of lauric acid in which small amount of glyceryl monostearate has been added. Okay, so these are the examples of emulsifying bases. Advantages: they improve water absorption, lubrication as such is not required, they solidify rapidly, non-irritant, overheating does not affect the physical properties, they have very good absorption capacities, less prone to rancidity. But disadvantage is, as I said previously, they should not be cooled rapidly. Now these are the references. Okay, so this is very important, guys. You have to remember what are suppository bases, the classification, three types, examples of all the three types along with three examples. Okay, thank you.